Okay, I'm multitasking. I've got an audiobook playing, but I've got my headphones on. I don't know. I hope it's not audible. Please let me know if you can hear like a background sound of some guy talking. All right, so this afternoon I've got my eyes on all the indices, on the setups which I shared. Okay, all right. So I've got a buy on US 30, like I said. And I'm looking for price to potentially push into this high to the far left right here into the ADR high. I got a wick right here on my H1. This is what triggered me to get interested in buying this. But again, for now, I feel like it's a short-term buy because my initial view on a higher time frame, I think price will drop down first before they push up. But again, like I said, we're going to trade what we see. So H1 gave us that week. M15 also gave me this pin bar. Then M3 gave me my entry at the right here. This is where my entry was. So for now, price is also bouncing off the open price of today. We might get a re-entry at any point now. Either price will just break here or they'll come back to the open price or to the 13 EMA. If they do one of the two, I'm going to add a position, either a breakout here or a retracement into the 13 EMA. If they do one of those two, I'm going to scale it. I will look at the other indices and I'll look at gold just now. But for now, I just wanted to put my focus on this particular asset. Right. So if we come below this pin bar, then the setup will become invalid. If we come below this pin bar, which is in line with this order block. If we come below here, the setup becomes invalid. If we break here, I'm going to add one. Or if we come back here and then respect this area, I'm also going to add one. So anticipating the current H1 candle to also expand to the top side, especially after that pin bar we saw. So that's where my bias is coming from. Okay, so this is actually the new hour which we are in. Okay, so if price is going to expand up, like I said, I need a break, potential retracement at some point, and a push into the ADR high. For now, that's my view on US 30. The rest of the assets, I also had almost a similar entry. Okay, so let's just finish with this one. I'm just going to put a buy stop right here. Then we're going to look at the other ones. All right, buy stop will most likely be triggered here. So I'm just going to look at the other assets for now. So US 100, I had the same setup as well. I wanted price to retrace from here soon as the equities market opened, but I did not get the retracement, so I've missed this move on Nasdaq. I've missed that move. So from a higher time frame, you see there's some points of interest which I have on the bottom here. We are also currently trading above the psychological zone, if that will make any sense. Yes, I had a buy stop. Let me just check if it triggered. Let me check on my phone. Look, okay, on my phone it hasn't. Okay, on my phone it triggered as well, but they did not activate it here because of margin, I think. But yes, the buy stop is active on Nasdaq on US 30. Active buy stop is active here. So in terms of a target, let me quickly show you the setup. This is how the setup is looking like, or this is where it started from. So let me clear this. All right, this is how my setup is looking like. So if price gets to this point, this is where my trade ends. Around 39,800 on this particular broker. But this price also, if they decide to push up like the way I think they will, they might go towards yesterday's high. You can see where the setup ends. So we do have potential if it's an actual bullish move for this session. Price can get as high as yesterday's highs. But for now, my setup is looking like this. Okay, for now, my setup is looking like this. So let's see how it plays out. So break even the trades just in case, but I think I'll just leave it like this. Let's see how it goes. All right, so that's it for US 30. So I'm just going to speak on the others. So US 100, as you can see, towards my entry time or towards my kills on time, this little week was not really enough for me to execute any trades right at the open. Um, although price actually moved up, sorry, not out. So here, what I was looking for was for price to first push up on this M15 candle, then retrace immediately after and give me an entry here. Then I would have taken the buy, but that did not happen. So I missed out on this first push on Nasdaq. I did not take that trade. But for anyone who was maybe on the charts from the morning, most likely you took maybe an entry here, somewhere in this area. This would have been good, but for me, there was not enough. The stop one was not convincing for me to be in that trade. So for now, I'll just stay on the sidelines. Let's see where this price wants to go. Again, if this current candle, if I get any H1 showing me a week on the downside, like what happened, was it yesterday or the day before? That will be a sign for me to actually enter the trade. So if H1 gives me a week, it means on M15, I've got a retracement. So I can then look for that entry based on M15, that entry confirmation. Then I can enter on the 3 minute. So that's my plan for now on US 100 based on this current price. German 40, I also wanted a trade here. I also wanted a buy, but if you also notice, I was waiting for a deeper retracement, right? So price pushed up at the beginning of my kill zone time, but I wanted a deeper retracement for me to enter. So I'm still on the sidelines. If they do come as low as this level and give me a reaction there, I'll still consider a buy anyway in this area here. This is the 3 minutes. So let's just take a look at how the higher time frame is looking like. So from the higher time frame, you will see we already had a doji, or rather two dojis on the 13 just before our session, right? So in the middle here, we had two dojis. So that's where my bias is coming from to actually look for buy. The only thing which I did not get was a convincing pattern. If you notice, M15 actually gave me the wick which I wanted to see initially. So the only thing which happened here is the 3 minutes did not give me the entry I wanted to see. After that wick on M15 right here, this could have been a good buy, but I was looking for something deeper, like I said, a retest of this order block. So this could have been a buy with a stop loss here. So for now, I want to see if they're going to give us a reaction right on the open price, which is almost on the 13 EMA as well. Are we going to get a nameable candle here? If I get a nameable candle there, I can consider taking my trade on German 40. So German 40, I will execute it on this particular account. So I'll just get it ready so long. All right. So just coming back. So we actively stalking German 30. US 30 still trying to push, but it's got no momentum. No momentum at this point in time. No momentum at this point in time, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Then gold. So gold, I took a look at it earlier in the morning. I looked at it. I didn't have enough price action. Then just now this afternoon, I looked at it again. Then I saw that I've got this particular little pin bar there, and I got a bearish engulfing candle. But right now we are right on the open price of the day. So I still want to see, do they actually want to push down? If they want to push down, what's my entry criteria here? I need H1 to give me a bit of a week. I need a bigger week for me to consider sells on gold. So if we get that bigger week, it means we're going to retrace into this order block here. That's my point of interest on gold. So if price is going to retrace a bit deeper, or if I can get any retracement into the 13 EMA. So price might do this, then a retrace. By the time they come back to the open price, we will meet the 13 EMA here. So if we can get a reaction here, or if we push up right now and we get a reaction in this order block here, that's my 2 points of interest for sales at this point in time. That's my 2 points of interest. So I'll just be stoking also here just to see what happens. EU, I'm not taking any trades for now. I'm just looking at it based on the H1. But my general view is there is a higher chance that this uptrend is going to continue to close off this month. Why am I saying that? If you notice, our TDI is now above the 50 static on a higher time frame. This is the daily. So I'm anticipating that bullish move to continue up. We noticed that from the beginning of the month, we had the first interaction with the 13, second interaction with the 13, we got a move. Price went sideways, went up a bit, came down. So right now we are back on the 13. So I think I would love to wait until today's daily candle closes so that I can be sure that price wants to continue pushing up. Otherwise, they might give a liquidity sweep here, then continue to push up. That's also possible, but I'd rather wait on the daily here and see what this price actually wants to do. Then Bitcoin is the same thing. On the daily, I'm anticipating a bit of a retracement. It's funny, I missed these two moves, which is still perfect. I'd rather wait for a retracement here. Then I'm looking forward for a continuation of the buys. If we can break this gray zone, just know that Bitcoin is going to be in a bullish order flow. So we're going to start actively trading it, only looking for buys and looking for price to go back to the all-time highs and even set new all-time highs. So the only thing we need with gold is proper price action, either a deeper retracement here, or if today's candle somehow closes bullish and closes above this gray zone, that could mean that there's a lot of momentum. So the price might actually not interact with the 13 EMA. They might actually continue push up to close this month with a solid monthly candle, which is bullish. So that's my view on Bitcoin, EU. So gold waiting for a retracement. US 30 still not giving us the push which we want to see. So let's just see what they do here. But just to give a quick recap of the setup, this is the setup here. So I'm just going to allow you guys to speak if you want to speak. Otherwise, I'm going to just round up this session because I've marked all points of interest and we've got one trade which is in motion already. So if anyone wants to speak, I think I've gave you the option to unmute. This is the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at gold, and
Okay.
I think gold is on a good setup for a sell because
Right. Let me go
the
to the
target on
smaller.
the H1, yeah, on the H1, the target should be on the 200 EMA, and on the 3 minutes candle, even though it has almost pinned to the 13 EMA.
Okay, that's true. On H1, I agree with your view. On H1, the price will most likely drop towards the 200, most likely coming into this order block here. We agree on that view. But what we need now is the best entry. For me, I'm not happy with entering maybe at current market price. That price action is not really enough for me to execute. As much as the pattern is there, on M15, my price is a bit far from the 13. So if there is acceleration to this zone, then I'm personally going to miss this. I would love to see a retracement first before I participate in the sell. Although if you look at it from the 3 minutes, it shows that there's multiple entries from the time the equities market opened from here. Bearish engulfing and the pin bar here. Yeah, that's possible, but I'm not really happy with entering here. If you enter here, your stop loss just has to be just above today's open price. So that's actually a point of interest for me. If price retraces back here now, that's where I might be looking for a sell if price gives me a reason to sell from there. So my
Then,
stalking time frame
yeah,
here will be M15 because that's where I need to get a confirmation. I need price to come to the 13, then give me something from there. Then I can consider taking the sales. But yes, I agree. The price is most likely coming towards that H1 200 EMA. Agreed.
yeah, you are correct. Even though on the sideline too, on my own side,
Mhm.
even though it's heading on the H1, it's heading towards the 200. But at this time, there is also a cluster of EMAs, 50, 13, and 200. And the 4 hour time frame, yes, it's close to the, and at the same time, just the last 4 hour candle close engulfing and below the weekly open price, the
Yeah,
open of
true.
the week.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because in terms of bias, if
Yeah,
you if
so
if we are looking at it from H4, okay, you can continue. Sorry, I cut you off.
yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that even though that looks possible, sell, but anything can happen. I'm kind of slowing, I mean, not slowing down, but I'm kind of being skeptical about
Oh yeah.
going in on a full set because when I see this kind of cluster, I don't know what will happen because things might change.
Oh yeah, true, true. You're right.
That's my own view.
Yeah, right. So from my view, looking at the H4, right, we can confirm that right now we are the weekly candle. This is the week on the weekly candle, this price action right here. So our weekly candle now is looking like this, like this. So probably it's got a bottom wick to just cover this little price. So it's looking more like this. So our view is price can potentially continue pushing down for this week. We do have that potential. But before we look at the bigger picture, the only place I want to see price break would be probably the 50 EMA, where price is heading to now. I believe that's the 200 EMA on H1. So I would love to see them break that level, potentially break this zone as well, which is that order block on H1. Then if we get a retracement, then I'm looking forward now to confidently start selling gold. Otherwise, they might still
Yeah.
find support on this 50 EMA, still find support on that order block and decide to come back up and do this. So I just want to exercise a bit of patience with it. But again, if a setup forms based on like the smaller time frames, we already know where price is most likely going to. So we've already planned the target for today. So if we can get an entry, then yes, we can execute. So let's just be a little bit patient with it. Just paying attention to today's open price and the 13 EMA, potentially and this order block as well. I just want to see if we can come back up here. And if we come back up here before we sell, price has to show us that it actually wants to sell from this time frame. Because you know, with these assets, they might still decide to come back up here, take out the liquidity on top before that sell we are seeing from a higher time frame actually happens. So if we are stoking, best time frame to stoke on gold would be M15 or H1, one of the two. On H1, I want to see a better wick into the 13 EMA there so that I can sell. On M15, I need a clean retracement back into the 13 or into the order block, one of those two. Then I can start actively looking for a sell entry. So on my side, US30 is looking good. Currently running at 140 points in profits based on my last entry. Let's just go back to the setup here. Okay, it's already reached my 1 to 3. So the initial setup on US30 is complete at this point. It's complete. I'm just going to share the result on the group so that guys can see that I actually executed that trade. All right, perfect. So I'm happy with this setup for now, but right, if you're going to look for a continuation up, where is the best entry? So we are saying is if this price is going to continue pushing up into yesterday's high, so we still have a point of interest at the top, right? So where would our entry be? So if we come back to the H1 here, we just want to locate a wick. Okay, before I speak on that, this was the setup, right? We were looking to catch this current H1 candle expanding, right? For those who are still struggling with this strategy, I'm just going to explain it again here. You see, when a candle opens, if we are anticipating momentum to the upside, what does a bullish candle look like? A bullish candle looks like, if you look to your left, it looks like this one. This is a good momentum candle. This is a good momentum candle. So coming from our point of interest, we got our pin bar right there. So let me just remove these lines so that price action can be clear. So this is a quick recap of the setup basically so that you guys can understand in case someone is still confused. So at our kill zone time, we located our wick. So let me start with it from the daily actually. From the daily, you see that we are sitting within the 13 EMA. At this point, price can either buy or it can either sell. Nothing is too clear here. So initially, I was also anticipating price to come a little bit deeper into this level here, which is our weekly psychological level. I was looking forward for price to come there, and I'm still looking forward for price to come there at some point because we might get something like this right here. That could potentially happen, or they might do this, then come down, then push down, or they might do this, then push up. That's possible, but just in oversight, that's how I was looking at the charts when I shared that analysis in the group on WhatsApp. So coming to my daily now, I was also flexible to trading whatever the markets are showing me at that time. So I realized that, okay, I had the first close above the 13 here in between the time where we were resting. And during my Q zone time, the current candle which led into the Q zone gave me the wick. Once we see our wick, we know our wick is our stop hunt. We agree on that, right? So if we know that our wick is our stop hunt, when we come to M15, what are we looking for? We are looking for price to be on the 13 EMA with a nameable candle. So we were right on the 13, right at the open price. We had a clean pin bar right at that particular time. So other factors here, you might say we also have the 800 whereby price now, all these three candlestick bodies were now closing above that dynamic support. Those are just other factors which you can include in your analysis, although I was not looking at that. The only thing I wanted to see on M15 was the pin bar, and that's it. So after I confirmed that, the next thing I wanted to see was my price to be above the 13 EMA, which happened right here. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to see is a nameable candle so that I can enter the trade. So yes, you can use that bullish engulfing to enter. There's nothing wrong with it. And the confirmation comes after this order block is broken. That's what confirms that you are correct. Then you can add a position here, right? That's how you approach it. So I did not use this. I waited and I got in on this particular pin bar here. So on that pin bar, entered my first trade. Price pushed up a bit. I think when I was doing the Zoom at 4 p.m., we started when price was here. So right at this point, what was I anticipating? I was anticipating either a breakout here because I'm already in a bullish momentum. I'm already anticipating a candlestick like this on H1 to be forming right as I'm trading, right? So with that anticipation, then I entered with a buy stop. That's the first thing. Second thing, I was also open to see price retrace back into the 13 and maybe give me a pin bar, doji, bullish engulfing, or inside bar. I was open to seeing that. So price decided to uh, give us the buy stop signal, which happened right there. So if you enter right here, where does your stop loss go? So a safer stop loss usually goes below the last low, but it can also go below the entry candle. Both the stop loss zones are perfect. You just need to check with your points how many each one is. Then you can adjust your trade accordingly. Then from there, we waited about 369 before the price started to expand. So we got a good expansion. We got a good setup. I'm not sure if you guys managed to catch the trade, but for me, my 1 to 3 is complete. You can see that's the trade there. And at this point, I think I'm just gonna drop it on the group. Um, okay, let's do this quickly. Okay, I'm gonna send that setup and I'm gonna send the actual trade. You'll see where price actually took me out, but I just re-entered there. I had a tight stop initially. But yeah, that was my setup. So you see this trade running, but it's now closed. I'm now out of this trade. So for anyone who entered on the buy stop now, your setup should have been looking like this. So if your stop loss was outside this range, your 1 to 3 would be somewhere there. That's how your 1:3 setup will be looking like. So when your price hits the level where the first setup is, which was also halfway of this entry, this is where you can scale out your trade, move your stop loss to break even, or just start trailing in case price wants to just like drop down for no reason. But otherwise, that's today's setup. I don't know if there's any questions based on the analysis and the explanation which I did. If there's any questions on anything which I spoke about, you guys, you are free to ask.
Um, I do not have any question for that now. Just I already executed and exited the trade on US 30,
Okay,
ready
that's
for the
perfect.
buy.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
So
but
from the buy stop, let's see
the
how many. I think price actually has reached the ADR high. So as long as we can secure 100 points, if you're trading indices and you just target 100 points and you keep doing that every day, as much as we put our risk to reward to be 1:3, I think what we should get used to is to get a certain number of points each time we trade a good setup, guaranteed without fail. So it means if you are trading in,
yeah.
just make sure you're going in
I
with a position and aiming for at least 100 points minimum. Then if you take anything else above that 100 points, then that's just like an added bonus.
yeah, I exited at 90 points.
Oh, okay.
Was 10 points to
That's perfect still. That's perfect. That's
yeah,
perfect.
because yesterday, early hours of Asian time, I placed a sell on gold.
Hmm.
Then I slept off. I placed it and went to bed
Hmm.
with my TP of 1:335.
Okay.
So my stop loss is $9. My TP is $30.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Then the sell went up to $29.50 and reversed back. So by
And
the time I wake up in the
uh,
morning, He went back and take my stop loss.
Oh shit, shame, man.
So
Shame, 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 shame. Sorry about that.
I just looked at it and laughed. Just a small point to give me
Yeah,
my, and I used the lowest lot size.
oh yeah. So yeah,
Then
that
then
happens. You see, that's what happens like if you enter your trade, like you set and forget, you enter your trade and you leave your chart. Sometimes price will almost get to your TP and it will retrace and go all the way to your stop loss. It happens sometimes. But you showed up
yeah,
for
I
the
looked at it
setup.
and
You did well.
I just laughed. I laughed
Yeah.
through yesterday. And I entered another sale again yesterday, but
Yeah.
I didn't have enough money on my account. It
Uh-huh.
just made a slight
Hmm.
push back, hit my stop loss and continued bleeding. Still hit my TP again.
Oh yeah.
But I don't have enough money when it took me out. So I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, it's still part of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, it's part of the whole process. Yeah. The
I
good
only
thing,
laughed.
the good thing is you're actually showing up and you're executing the trade. So that's good. That's good. You're doing great. You're doing
Yeah, I'm
great.
always
So
on the chat every day. It's just that
yeah.
I mean, one thing I know is that the setups that I'm entering,
Hmm.
they're all good,
Yes,
but
yes.
the problem is the weight of the account, which I think I have to reverse back to my old way of having a big lot size, you know,
Yeah, true.
with
Nah,
it putting money in
just
the trading
yeah,
account.
with more patience, because
That-
well, again with trading, it's more or less about patience and timing as well. Timing,
oh
patience and
yeah,
timing, patience and timing. Because take a look at this. If somebody sold gold based off this level here, there was nothing wrong with selling here. But remember, if someone sells here, there's a high chance their stop loss is above this pin bar right here. So you
oh
see
yeah.
what they now come and do. They'll come take you out in between the queues on times. For me personally, this is the reason I prefer waiting for my kills on times because I know at least if there's anything which is going to happen, let it happen in here or let it happen just before my kill zone so that I can visually see it. Then let me enter the trade when price is more settled and flowing after the stop hunt has happened. It's better that way. So patience and timing plays a great role. And so, Gold, just to round up today's session, I don't know if there's any other question, but if there's nothing, you can see we are now getting a reaction on Gold, which looks like a potential pin bar. So, what's the time now? The time is 16:36. There's about 9 minutes until the current M15 candle closes. So, at this point, we wait for the M15 candle to close. Because at this point, as much as it is looking like a pin bar, it might still close being bullish. So when you're seeing the candle form, what you want to do is to wait for it to actually close. Then after it closes, now if it closes being a pin bar, then now we can come to the 3 minutes. And on the 3 minutes, we need price to come back below the 13 EMA. If we get a close, that will be a good entry with half the risk. Then if they sort of retrace back into the 13 EMA and give a nameable candle, that's when you use the rest of your remaining risk on the setup. Then you can just hold. You can also wait for price to break this order block if you want some more confirmation for the sell, if the sell is going to play out. So here you also see that we've tapped into the order block, which I was speaking of. So after tapping that, I still need more confirmation, which will come probably after the current M15 closes. So after I plan my trade like this, the only thing I can do is wait. If price moves according to the way that I've planned, then I just execute based on that. If price does something else, then I stay on my sideline. I sit on my hands. I don't do anything. So if you can just plan your trades like that in advance and wait for these confirmations, it also helps as well into getting like only high probability trades. All right,
That's
so
correct.
guys, I think that's it from me today. We had a nice trade today on US 30. I think tomorrow we're going to do another live trading session as well. So we'll catch up most likely the same time. These days, my morning sessions have been a bit hectic. If you've noticed, I haven't been taking trades in the morning. But as from next week, going into the new month, I'll be back on the London sessions and the New York sessions as well. But this week we'll just close it off with another live trading session tomorrow. Same time, same place, same link. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Bye.